Welcome back to Football Insight Global. Today, we're breaking down one of the most shocking results of the La Liga season so far, Barcelona's humiliating 4-1 defeat to Sevilla at the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan. That's right. Sevilla ended Barca's unbeaten run and handed them their first league defeat of the 2025-26 season. We'll take you through everything. The goals, the key mistakes, Lewandowski's missed penalty, Pedri's honest post-match comments, and what this result means for Xavi and his squad heading into the international break. Grab your drink, hit that like button, and let's dive right into this unbelievable night in Seville. Heading into the match, Barcelona were unbeaten in La Liga. They sat second in the table, just 2 points behind Real Madrid, and this game was their chance to go top. Sevilla, on the other hand, had not beaten Barcelona in the league since 2015. That a full decade of frustration for the Andalusian side. But football loves surprises. At the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan, the crowd was electric, and Sevilla came out with hunger, pressing high, closing down spaces, and punishing every Barca mistake. By the end of 90 minutes, the scoreboard read Sevilla 4, Barcelona 1, a scoreline no one saw coming. The game started with Barcelona looking sluggish, no shots on target in the first 30 minutes. Sevilla, meanwhile, had a clear plan, hit fast on the counter and use Alexis Sanchez's movement to stretch Barca's defensive line. In the 13th minute, disaster struck for the Catalans. Isaac Romero went down after a tussle with Ronald Araujo inside the 6-yard box. The referee initially waved play on, but after a VAR review, a penalty was awarded to Sevilla. Up stepped Alexis Sánchez, cool as ever, sending his former Arsenal teammate Wojciech Szczesny the wrong way. 1-0 Sevilla. The Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan erupted. Just minutes later, Sevilla almost doubled their lead. Szczesny made a strong save from Romero's close-range effort. But in the 37th minute, Sevilla struck again. Ruben Vargas broke down the flank, beating Barcelona's high line, and squared the ball perfectly to Isaac Romero, who fired home first time. 2-0 to Sevilla, and Barcelona were shell-shocked. Their defense looked disorganized, the midfield lacked energy, and Xavi's men couldn't find any rhythm. Then, just before halftime, came a glimmer of hope. Marcus Rashford, who joined Barcelona this season, produced a moment of brilliance, hammering Pedri's lob pass into the top corner from a tight angle. Halftime score, Sevilla 2, Barcelona 1. But even then, the warning signs were clear. Sevilla looked hungrier, sharper, and far more disciplined. After the break, Barcelona came out trying to push forward. They dominated possession, nearly 70% of the ball, but created very few clear chances. Sevilla defended in a compact 4-4-2, forcing Barca wide and cutting off Lewandowski's supply. Then came the big moment in the 76th minute. Barcelona won a penalty after Adnan Januzaj brought down Alejandro Bald inside the box. A golden opportunity to make it 2-2. Robert Lewandowski, the veteran striker, stepped up. You'd expect him to bury it, but incredibly he fired wide. The Polish star missed the target completely, leaving Xavi hold his head on the sidelines. That miss changed everything. Sevilla regained momentum, and in the 90th minute, defender Jose Angel Carmona scored Sevilla's third, a low drive that squeezed the defender's legs into the far corner. And just when Barca fans thought it couldn't get worse, it did. In stoppage time, Akor Adams, coming off the bench, latched onto a Chitter Ejuk pass and smashed home Sevilla's fourth goal. Final score, Sevilla 4, Barcelona 1. A stunning, historic win for Sevilla, their first over Barcelona in 10 years. After the match, emotions were raw. Barcelona's Pedri didn't hold back in his post-match interview. He said, "We lacked intensity. We couldn't get the ball out of our half. We didn't know what to do with the ball. We were never at our best. We need to improve a lot of things so that we can start winning games again after break." That's honesty and frustration from one of Barca's most composed players. On the other hand, Sevilla's hero Jose Angel Carmona, who scored their third goal, called it one of the happiest days of my life. We deserved to win from start to finish. And you can't argue with that. Sevilla outworked, outplayed, and outscored the champions. So, Let's break down what exactly went wrong for Barcelona. Number 1. Lack of intensity. Pedri said it himself, Barcelona started flat. They were slow in transition and gave Sevilla too much space in midfield. Number 2. Poor defensive shape. Barcelona's high line was repeatedly exposed. Sevilla exploited the gaps with quick through balls behind the defense, especially using Vargas and Romero's pace. Number 3. Ineffective midfield control. Without Xavi's pressing and Frenkie de Jong's dynamism, Barcelona's midfield looked static. Oriol Romeu struggled to handle Sevilla's physicality, and Pedri was forced to drop deep, leaving the attack isolated. Number 4. Missed opportunities. Lewandowski's missed penalties summed up Barca's night, wasteful and low on confidence. Number 5. Tactical inflexibility. Xavi's system relies on tight pressing and ball dominance. But when Sevilla bypassed the press with direct balls, Barca had no plan B. Now, let's give credit to Sevilla. This was a tactical masterclass. Coach Diego Alonso set up his team brilliantly, compact, aggressive, and fearless. Veterans like Cesar Azpilicueta led from back, while Alexis Sánchez used his experience to draw fouls and create pressure moments. Isaac Romero was a constant threat, Vargas provided deadly width, and substitute Akor Adams capped it off perfectly. Sevilla's first league win over Barcelona since 2015 was no fluke. They earned every bit of it, and the crowd at the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan knew it. From the first whistle to the last, they pushed their team to deliver one of the biggest results of the La Liga season. After the match, reports suggest Xavi was visibly frustrated in the dressing room. He didn't publicly criticize the players, but emphasized that intensity and discipline must return before the next round of fixtures. Barcelona now head into the international break, sitting second in the table with 19 points, 2 behind Real Madrid. They'll return to action on October 18th, hosting Girona, a side that's been impressive this season. Xavi will have to reset his squad mentally and physically, and possibly rethink his starting lineup. Questions will be asked about the defense, about Lewandowski's form, and about how Barca can regain their spark. But this loss might also serve as a wake-up call, a reminder that even great teams can be punished if they lose focus. The football world exploded after this result. Social media was full of disbelief. Hashtag Sevilla4Barca1 trended worldwide. Barcelona fans expressed frustration over Xavi's tactics and Lewandowski's penalty miss, while Sevilla fans celebrated their biggest win in years. Pundits like Guillem Balag noted that Barcelona looked mentally drained, and that this result was a symptom of fatigue and overconfidence. So, here's the bottom line. Sevilla 4, Barcelona 1. A result that shakes up La Liga and exposes some deep cracks in Barcelona's system. Sevilla were disciplined, determined, and deadly. Barcelona were flat, disorganized, and careless.